What's up, everybody? So, my name is Kenny. I operate a credit repair company here in Canada, and I help thousands of Canadians fix and rebuild their credit. And today, we're going to be discussing what is it that we do when a collection company is not respecting our disputes or ignoring our disputes. So, I can completely understand how this can be extremely frustrating because you're taking your time to do so much research on what laws protect you as a consumer, and you may genuinely know that this debt does not belong to you, or you may not even recognize the collection company that has been contacting you for, let's say, the past 6 months. And let's be honest, collection companies can be extremely annoying. They can be consistent and very persistent in trying to get you to pay back a debt that you don't even remember. I've dealt with so many clients to where they've said, "Hey, this company calls my place of work. They show up to my place of living, which is pretty scary or intimidating. Or they may even just call you every day, send you emails, and send you text messages, right? But again, there's so much information out there around how all of this works. So I just want to bring some clarity to the situation on what you can do as a Canadian. Because what I noticed from my experience is that when I work with a lot of my clients that are based here in Canada, they go on the internet and then they get a bunch of American advice, which is great because it shows that you care about wanting to fix and start the process of improving your credit. But we also have to understand that we are in an entirely different country. And so the laws that govern and protect us as consumers are different to those that protect those in the United States. Now, because it is great that you're doing the research, but it's also important that you understand what's true and what's not true. And there's a lot of myths out there about how we should be battling against collection companies. And all this is, once you get into the depth of disputing, it's a paper chasing game. So there's no magic trick in you being able to dispute or remove collection accounts. This isn't some method or some type of catchy gadget. This is a process that takes a long period of time, and people come into this with the wrong mentality of expecting this to be fixed over the next, let's say, 2, 3 months, and that's just not realistic, right? Because we have to really look at the life cycle of an account. Let's just say, for example, one of the most common accounts I see are Bell accounts, right? They go to collections. Let's say you had that Bell account for 10 years and everything was going great for the first 7, and then for the last 3 you just completely went delinquent. You started missing late payments, and then Bell decided to go ahead and close that account, write it off as a tax write-off, and then sell it to a collection company. So we have to look at all of that history there, look at how long it took you to get into that position, and then think about what is it or what does it take for us to actually be able to remove that account off of your credit report? Because again, it's extremely difficult because there's so much history tied to that account, and it's unrealistic for you to think that it's going to be removed in 2 or 3 months. Sometimes it can't. Like, we've had clients that have finished, they've used our services, and they've been able to get collection accounts removed off of after 3 or 4 months. But that's not going to be the case for everybody, right? So everyone's situation is going to be completely different, because again, what is on your profile is going to be completely different from what's on someone else's profile. So if you have a companion, if you're married, then I want you to just try a little practice where you look at your credit report and you look at theirs, and you're going to see your profile is completely different. Even though you live right next to this person, their credit profile is completely different. Their score is going to be different. The inquiries that they have are going to be different. The payment history is going to be completely different. So you can't expect that your credit journey is going to be the same as the person that you live with. So even when we look at strangers, it's going to be even vastly different because they have different life experiences, different financial goals, things of that nature, right? So when fixing your credit, understand that it's a journey. It's a worth it. I call it a worth it journey because again, it can unlock a lot of doors for you. Now, back to the main topic of the video. When we are disputing collection accounts, I always like to dispute directly with the collection company, because if I can go directly to the source and try to get proof of debt, then I will want to do so. So the first thing you should be trying to target is proof of debt. and you want to mention to them that, hey, if you cannot provide me with proof of debt, then you cannot report this to my credit report. Okay, so that's a legal obligation that they have to you. If they cannot provide you with proof of debt, then they cannot report this to your credit report. And what's actually going to happen is that some companies, legitimate collection companies, they will provide you with proof of debt, which, by the way, is a good thing because then you can move forward with what we call pay for deletion to get that account removed off of your credit report. But if they aren't willing to provide you proof of debt, then you may get ghosted. So collection companies will ghost you. They may try to ignore you, especially if they see that you're knowledgeable about consumer law or what protects you as a consumer. So usually collection companies they prey or they try to take advantage of consumers that don't know much about how this works or the industry, right? Because it can be very intimidating if I just call you out of the blue and I mention the bill account and I say how much you owe and all of it sounds familiar. I may have your address. And so you may assume like, oh my gosh, this is actually that company that's to collect on the debt. But again, that account that you had with that bill account or whatever the account is it was a tax write-off. And as soon as it becomes a tax write-off, it's now public information, right? So a lot of these collection companies, they have online platforms to where they can pull your debt information and just contact you out the blue without them even owning, I'm sorry, without them even owning the debt, right? So again, there's so much that you want to do when it comes to communicating with a collection company. There's so much precaution that you need to take because again, there's so much wrong information out there about how this process works. But if you're willing to stay persistent and committed, you can get a lot done. You can make a lot of progress, right? So if you're disputing with a collection company and they're ignoring your disputes, the next best thing that you can do is go directly through to Equifax and TransUnion, and you can dispute directly with them. So what this does is once you dispute directly with TransUnion and Equifax, they're going to initiate their own investigation. So you are doing your investigation by disputing directly with the collection company to see if they have proof of debt. And then once you dispute with TransUnion and Equifax, they're going to do their investigation and see if the collection company can actually provide them with proof of debt, right? Now, again, a lot of people make the assumption because they watch a lot of videos on YouTube from Americans that the collection companies or the credit bureaus are supposed to get back to them within 30 days. And what I mean by that, they assume that the account's supposed to be removed in 30 days. No, okay, it's not the case. What actually happens is that you're just supposed to receive a response in 30 days. And there's actually no real written laws here in Canada that say these companies need to get back to you within 30 days. We kind of go off of what happened, what happens in the United States because Equifax and TransUnion are sister companies of Equifax US and TransUnion US, right? So Equifax Canada, TransUnion Canada, they're just sub companies of the American entities. So we just kind of leverage that, but there's really no real laws that say these companies need to get back to you within 30 days. But we do have that expectation, okay? So 30 business days, you want to send those disputes, you're going to receive a response, not an answer, okay? Not an answer. It's not going to be an answer to your question. They'll probably just say, hey, we're going to be looking into this for you. We're going to initiate this investigation. And then from there, every 30 business days, you just keep following up. And where a lot of people make the mistake is that they quit or they stop the disputing process because they know very little. They don't know what to expect. They don't know how long it's going to take. But I just say have the mindset that this is going to take you the next 10 years. Say, hey, this is going to take me the next 10 years to dispute it and full transparency, it's not going to take that long, but have that mindset because when you're overshooting, okay, and then it happens before then there's it's something happens to the mind, right? It's like a sense of joy. So overshoot, oversell yourself on the expectation of how long this is going to take. Okay, really have a 10-year mindset, not a 1 day or most people say 30 days mindset behind this disputing process because it's a long journey. Okay, so say, hey, the collection companies are ignoring me. I'm going to escalate the matters to Equifax and TransUnion. Okay, now if you're really getting frustrated with this company, you know you don't owe this debt. Make sure you're sending everything registered mail via Canada Post. Keep everything documented. Everything, every letter you're sending, make a copy of it. Make a copy of that letter. Keep all the registered numbers. So when you go to Canada Post and you send it off registered mail, they're going to give you a number. Keep that document because you can use it for legal matters if you do need to take legal action against a collection company for whatever reason. Okay. But best case scenario is that A, they remove the account off of your credit report, thus increasing your credit score, or B, they're able to come back to you with proof of debt, which is a good thing because then you can negotiate pay for deletion and get that account removed off of your credit report. But the most important thing I want to leave you with is to stay persistent. So many people quit. So many people quit and they think this is an overnight thing. I myself, I had when I was in university, I had bad credit and I had to fix my credit. I had to fix friends' credit, and then I started my own company fixing others' credit. So I know the reality of this business. I know the reality of how this works. And if you do work with someone and they say, hey, they can fix your credit in 30 days, I need you to run, okay? Because it's not realistic. It's not realistic. And it very rarely happens, okay? Now, if you need help, maybe, my company, we work with a lot of nurses, work with a lot of truck drivers, people that necessarily don't have the time to sit there and track, monitor, keep documentation of all their disputes, follow up with the collection companies, follow up with the credit bureaus. My company does this for you. We have a full team um, of experts that help us dispute, create those dispute letters, send them out for you, help you with the disputing process. And I am very proud of my team. I love my team. If you want to get in contact with us, just send us an email, info@kennyjohnsonuniversity.com. I'll have it here at the bottom. Just send us an email. We'll be more than happy to set up a call, go over your credit report with you, see how we can help you out. And until next time, peace.